An attack 2 weeks ago on 15 rescue workers in Gaza by Israeli soldiers provoked international outrage. Now mobile phone footage has emerged that has forced Israel to change its account of the circumstances under which its soldiers opened fire. The rescue workers were traveling in a convoy which Israel's military had said approached suspiciously and without lights. But the footage shows the convoy did have headlights on and emergency lights flashing. Tonight, Israel has admitted the soldiers were mistaken about the lights and the threat they were under. You may find footage of the video in Dan Johnson's report, Distressing.
This video challenges Israel's account of why its soldiers opened fire with such deadly force. It's just before dawn, and the Red Crescent paramedics and civil defense workers are answering a call to help the wounded near Rafah. Israel's military first said this convoy advanced suspiciously towards troops with the lights switched off. But you can see, these are marked vehicles and they're wearing reflective uniforms. Then, without warning, this. The shooting continues for more than 5 minutes. The paramedic who's filming says his last prayers. Refat Redwan was one of 15 killed.
His phone was found with his body, and he recorded the whole event. His last words before being shot: "Forgive me, Mom. I just wanted to help people. I wanted to save lives."
The footage only emerged when teams could safely reach this site 7 days later. The bodies were buried along with the vehicles. Regular practice, the army says, to protect them from animals. The UN called this a mass grave. Israel's account was already in question. The only paramedic to live through the shooting told us earlier this week they had their lights on and it was clear they were medics.
I'm the only survivor who saw what happened to my colleagues, and I will expose the crimes committed by the occupation against them.
On Tuesday, Israel's response was in defense of its forces.
The IDF did not randomly attack an ambulance. Last Sunday, several uncoordinated vehicles were identified advancing suspiciously toward IDF troops without headlights.
Now, that narrative's been upended. Tonight, a military official admitted the soldiers were mistaken about the lights and the threat they were under. The army insists 6 of the dead belonged to Hamas, but it denies they were executed at close range. The changing story, though, is only increasing the pressure for an independent investigation. This footage lay buried for a week in the Gaza sand. Now, it is forcing Israel to give answers and adding to the calls for accountability. Dan Johnson, BBC News in Jerusalem.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 59 and verse 1. It reads, "Deliver me from mine enemies, O my power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Defend me from them that rise up against me. Deliver me from the workers of iniquity. Save me from bloody men. For lo, they lie in wait for my soul. The mighty are gathered against me, not for my transgression, nor for my sin, O Lord. They run and prepare themselves without my fault. Awake to help me, and behold." Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is a Brother Kahan from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp, coming again with another edification through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. First and foremost, Kal Halayim, La Allah Yanawa, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kaha Kodash, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai. Double honors unto the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Double salutation unto the brothers who preaching and teaching the truth throughout the 4 corners of the earth, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more than ever. Shalom unto the speckled bird Israelites, and shalom unto the very few but faithful Akwat, which is the sisters. Well, well, well. Well, well, well. This man will never cease to shed blood. Yeah? The wicked will never cease to shed blood. And I think that will be the title of this edification. Now, as you could see in that, as you could have seen there in that clip there at the beginning, you know, pursuant to basically, as the world will put it, you know, and the UN or whatever will classify that there, a particular war crime that had took place, a war crime that took place there, you know, an execution that was taken out on these aid workers by the IDF military, all right, the Israel Defense Force, which is nothing new, all right, nothing new. That was nothing new, all right. That is something that had been occurring for over the period of time, over years upon years upon years, you know. And you know, they would lie and try to cover their crimes, all right, control the narrative, defame the characters, and oh gosh, there's another word to use, you know, to justify their executions, all right, to justify their crimes. Now, we the Hebrew Israelites, especially the men of Great Millstone, we don't have a dog in that fight, all right. So, as in saying, you know, as in like protesting or whatever the case may be, you know, that's not our business pursuant to that situation what has taken place there in Gaza, all right. That is what it is. Now, we know there is no one perish that is innocent, all right. But the thing about it is, you know, the Lord hates unrighteousness, all right. And what the IDF had done there was an unrighteous act, a wicked act. But at the ending of it all, this just goes to show. This just goes to show their character. This just goes to show who they truly are. All right, they will murder within a heartbeat or less than a heartbeat, and would care less. They cares nothing about life. Hence the reason why, you know, they would bomb indiscriminately. All right, kill men, women, children indiscriminately. Bomb whole buildings. Bomb hospitals. Bomb. You understand? If they could bomb Judgment hospitals, where it is for them to execute, all right, ambulance drivers that is going to render aid onto the maimed, onto the injured, you know, concerning that conflict that is taking place. All right, if they could bomb hospitals, where's for them to carry out that? All right, and then bury the bodies and the ambulances. All right, dismantle the mangle the ambulances and bury the ambulances. Talking about the burying it so that to protect them from animals. So the animals is going to eat the ambulances. Oh boy, this just goes to show. All right, this just goes to show how wicked these people are. and how brutal they are. Alright? And this is a lesson for you, Jake. This is a lesson for you, Jake. Alright, because if they could do that to these people, what do you think they're gonna be easy on you, Jakes? Alright, when they're making the last push pursuant towards the New World Order. You understand? There's where it is here. These people are evil. These people are the wicked. Alright, and the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is all he is just doing is before he bring them down is showing you. Alright? Is showing you the characteristics of these people. He's showing you the you know, the ways of these people, of these Amalekites. He's showing you who the wicked is, basically. Alright, he's showing you who the wicked is. Now, had not that cell phone footage been found and brought to light, news stations like BBC themselves, they wouldn't have broadcast that, you know, and highlight it and whatnot, so forth, because remember, these people, they are owned by these Amalekites, these news stations, these news outlets and what have you, so forth. Alright, they are owned by these Amalekites and what have you, so forth, you know. But you see, remember, the media, alright, they not defame is one, but it's another word I'm trying to get, boy. Another word I'm trying to get. Alright? But let me use defame for the time being. Alright? These news outlets, these media houses, mainstream media. Alright? Mainstream media. Alright? They had that footage not been found and highlighted and whatnot, so forth. Alright? They would have been able to control the narrative and paint these aid workers in a bad light. Alright? This is what it is here. But you see, again, you know, let's take a look at Luke. Alright, the book of Luke, chapter, I think it's Luke 17 and 8. No, it's Luke 8 and 17, Salakia. Luke 8 and 17, I believe is that. Yeah. Luke 8 and 17, where it reads, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad." Alright? So, this is just a plain out, you know, example of shameful spewing on their glory. Alright? This is just a perfect example of how the Lord works, that He is bringing to light the wickedness of these people before, you know, He brings that ultimate judgment upon them. Alright? Because, again, had that not been brought to light, their lie that they had first brought forth, the blatant lie that they had first brought forth, alright, it would have never been questioned. Although we know, the ones who knows the truth will never believe the devil. Alright? But for the gullible ones, you know, the IDF could do no wrong. Netanyahu could do no wrong. The so-called chosen people could do no wrong. Alright? Had it not been brought to light, the gullible ones would have just go down, and still they will still go down with the wicked. What I mean, as in, you know, stand by the wicked. You understand? Had that footage not been brought out, you know, their lies would have. That's why the scripture says, let's go to Psalms. Let's take a look at Psalms. Psalms 59 or 58, boy. Psalms 58 and 1, where it reads, alright, Psalms 58 and 1, do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Yea, in heart you work wickedness. Alright, you work wickedness. You weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. Yeah? This is what these people are. These people are a violent, bloodlust, bloodthirst, race of people. These Edomites from Amalek go straight down. Alright? Yeah, man. The wicked are astray from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Yeah? As soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth the air. Alright? And this is what these people constantly do. They lie, they do their wicked, atrocious acts. Right? Their mass genocide. Alright, they will destroy a whole building, a whole hospital with just women and children, and claim say that Hamas they're harboring Hamas militants there, whatnot, so forth, so forth. When we clearly know and clearly see that it is a blatant genocide, a blatant ethnic cleansing that is taking place there. Alright, but as I say, we have no dog in that fight, alright, because at the end of the day, that is just the Lord, carrying out his judgment pursuant to the controversy of Zion. You understand? That's just what it is. That's just what it is. Alright? But the point where I'm getting at is showing you that, these people, they have no regard for life. Alright? They have no regard for life. So they would kill and murder and murder and murder and murder and murder. Alright? Until Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai decide that it is time now, for the judgment to reign. You understand? This is what it is here. This is what it is here. Still staying in the book of Psalms, to kill time. Think time. Psalms 36 and 1, it says, the transgression of the wicked saith within my heart that there is no fear of Yahweh before his eyes. And this is the reason why they are doing these things, because they have no fear. They have no fear of the Most High. Alright? They have no fear of the Most High. They have no fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Alright? Because within their mind, they think that they themselves are justified in what they are doing. Alright? They are judge, jury, and executioner. Alright? Verse 2, for he flattereth himself in his own eyes, until his iniquity be found to be hateful. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. So, pursuant to this idea of spokesman, alright, who had his words to say, and what have you, so forth, making it look as if, they are sorry for the lives that were lost and whatnot, so forth, but it was needed because there were six Hamas militants, allegedly, alright, whatnot, so forth. It just goes to show the iniquitous mindset of these people, the wicked mindset of these people. It says the words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit, lies. He had left off to be wise and to do good. He devised mischief upon his bed and setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. That's why they would kill. They would kill, alright, without conscience. Alright? They would kill without conscience. That is what it is. Basically. You know, but the Lord is just allowing these people to do all what they're doing, you know, because this at the end of the day, this is the Lord's purpose. This is His will. That's why He's allowing it. Alright, to let their sins overflow. Not just fill, but overflow. Overflow with wickedness, man. Isaiah 14:6, where it reads, alright, Isaiah 14:6, it reads, He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, alright, with a continual stroke, alright, isn't that not what is taking place over there in Palestine? The people is being continually struck in wrath by these Amalekites. Alright? He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindered. Because, hey, when the Lord is about to bring judgment upon Esau, Edom, nobody is going to lift up a finger, and nobody is going to feel sorry for Esau. Nobody is going to feel sorry for Esau, Edom. That's a guarantee. Alright? The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yeah? This is what is going to take place with the earth when this man comes down, when this man falls. Alright? Nations will learn war no more. They're going to beat their swords into plowshares. You understand? And their spears into pruning hooks. Because the scripture speaks about when the true people are in the land with Yahweh Shai, because when the true people go back to the land, it will be with Yahweh Shai, because He is going to put them there, the one who they will ignorantly call Jesus Christ, and there's going to be no more war. Alright? But ever since the inception of this state, alright, as the elders this push forth, you know, as the elders just bring to light, you know, it has always been war from since the first night to this day. It has always been war in that land. Alright? This is what it is. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, Since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. Yeah? Since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. A fella goes into those lumberjacks and what have you, so forth, you know, that cut down trees, you know, and this is both literally, you know, and spiritually, in the sense of, you know, this scripture speaks about, you know, he sees men as trees, you know, men is described in the scripture as trees also, you know, and since this man has come down, you know, no tree, no man has been cut down, has been able to be cut down anymore by this man, because this man has been brought down to nothing. You understand? Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirred up the dead for thee. Even all the chief ones of the earth it had raised up from their thrones, all the kings of the nations. Verse 10, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Yeah, this is when the great fall take place. Yeah? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and thy noise at the vial, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee, man. Alright? They've been decaying, and they're going to be decayed, both literally and spiritually. You understand? This is what it is here. You all going, hey, Esau, Edom, as I just always ask, you know, random people from time to time. You know, some may answer straightforward, and some may want to beat around the bush. But there's no way that anybody could convince me that the most murderous people upon the face of the earth is not the so-called white man. Alright? There is nobody could convince me otherwise. Because you're literally seeing it, man. Yeah, you're literally seeing it. Yeah? Job 9, not Job Salakia. Yeah, Job 18. Job 18. Yeah, Job 18. The book of Job, chapter 18. Alright. Bear with me. Job 18 and 5 actually. Job 18 and 5, it reads, Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. Yeah? Yeah? That light, that darkness for light that he put forth upon the face of the earth, yeah, it ain't going to shine anymore. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon his snare. Yeah? They think that all that murders and whatnot that they're carrying about, you know, that greater Israel project that they're trying to carry about by the way of mass genocide and what have you, so forth. They think that they're going to get through. They think that they're going to get away and ride away in the sunset. Hell frick no. Alright? Hell no. The grind shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Alright? By the way of what? World War III. Yeah? By the way of what? World War III. Where they want to go into Iran. That's going to be the biggest mistake that they're going to ever make, and that's going to be their downfall. Alright? The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and he shall drive and shall drive him to his feet. You see, the reason why I'm reading this scripture, this particular scripture, alright, is because you have to understand. Remember, these people, all they ever known to be doing, especially since they came back out, you know, into prominence via the Renaissance period and what have you, so forth. All they were ever known to do is to mass slaughter, murder, genocide, thief, pillage, conquer. This is all colonize. This is all they've been doing. So what the Lord is about to do is put their turn their recompense upon their own heads. All right. The same way. That's why the Lord said, that is in Revelation 18. Let me see if I can get that. Revelation 18. Let me see from 1. I don't think it's 1. I don't think it's verse 1. I think it's 4 or 5. Alright, yes, 5. Revelation 18 and 5, where it reads, For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities. Alright, but the Lord said, Reward her even as she rewarded you, double unto her double to her works. In the cup which she had filled, fill unto her double. Alright? This is what is going to take place with Esau, Edom. Well, mainly America. Alright? Mainly America. But also is going to take place with this judgment is going to fall upon these Amalekites the same way. Alright? Well, I'd reached Job 18. And I think was 8 or 9. Let me see. Let's see. Verse 11 actually. Alright. Job 18 and 11. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. The same way how they have been devastating nations, alright, and bringing death and destruction onto these nations, alright. Like for instance, what is taking place there in Gaza, alright, is the same thing that is going to take place unto them. And this is what they fail to realize. You see, but the thing about it is, you know, pride. And pride is a hell of a thing. Alright? Pride is a hell of a thing. And their pride is going to bring them to destruction. It's going to bring them to their fall. It's going to bring them to their knees. All right? It says, verse 13, it shall devour the strength of his skin. Even the firstborn of death shall devour in his strength. All right? His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, which goes into his pride. All right? And it shall bring him to the king of terrors. And who is the king of terrors? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation, which is what? Thermonuclear missiles. All right? His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branches be cut off, which is what? The whole nation of Esau Edom. All right? The whole nation of Esau Edom, the whole race of Esau Edom. His roots, all right, which is what? Their forefathers, and their branches goes into their descendants. All right? His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. All right? He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. This is what is going to take place with Edom. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people. So what? Because why? All right, a nation is built. A nation is a nation is derived from the men. All right, because it's the man that carry the seed. All right, nor any remaining in his dwellings. They that come after him shall be astonished at this day, as they that went before were affrighted. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not Yahweh. All right, because they don't know Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, they claim, see, all right, they claim to be the chosen people, but watch what they're doing. Look at what they're doing. That's why the scripture say in Isaiah 26 and 10. All right, Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10, where it reads, let favor be showed to the wicked, yet he will not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness he will deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. All right? These people are in the land, claims to be the chosen people, what not so forth, this, that, the other. But watch what they are doing. Look at the traits of these people. Are they carrying the traits of the true people? Or, you know, are they carrying the traits of the chosen people? Or are they carrying the traits of the wicked that the scripture speaks of, what the wicked will be doing? You be the judge of it. You be the judge of it. Yeah? You be the judge of it. There's way it is here with these people, man. There's way it is here with these people. Alright? They knows nothing else but shedding blood. They knows nothing else. Alright? These Amalekites knows nothing else but the shedding of blood. Plain and simple. Isaiah 59 and 5. Now this is twofold. Alright, this really goes into Israel. Alright, but this also is twofold. Alright, this is Isaiah 59 and 7. It reads, they hatch cockatrice eggs and weave the spider's web. He that eateth of their eggs dieth, and that which is crushed breaketh out into a viper. Yeah? Their webs shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Yeah? Neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity, and the act of violence is in their hands. This is what it is with these Edomites. This is what it is with these Amalekites. Alright? They are a violent, warlike people. From ever since they asked, hey, what is their blessing? What was the blessing that Isaac had given unto them? All right, that they should live by the sword, and they are truly living out their blessing. All right, their feet, Salakia, run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Yeah, they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are the thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. The way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace, man. And we are seeing it in Testament. Alright, we are seeing the proof of it. We are seeing the proof of it. Of the murderous acts of these people. Alright, 15 aid workers. The life at first, the lion said the aid workers, you know, on their approach there was no lights on, no emergency lights, no headlights, whatnot, so forth, this, that, the other. When truth and in fact, when the evidence had been brought forth, all right, their lights were on, all lights were on, reflective jackets, whatnot, so forth, this, that, the other. You understand? They were unarmed. Most importantly, they were unarmed, but yet still you execute them like dogs in the street. Now, had that video had not been brought to light, their lives would have been able to flourish. All right? And flourish by the way of the media houses. Because, hey, BBC, CNN, and all these major mainstream medias and whatnot, so forth, all right, they are the ones that control the narratives and always put the wicked in the light of whatever act that they do, whatever atrocious wicked act they do, you know, it was justified. All right. But we seeing for a fact here. Hey, boy. Let's take a look at this Deuteronomy here. Deuteronomy chapter 19, and I'm going to start from 1. And there's a reason why I'm reading this here. Deuteronomy 19 and 1. All right, and we're going to go down. We're going to read going down. Deuteronomy 19 and 1, because you all talk about, you all follow Torah, and you all follow Torah, and you all follow Torah. All right. All right, well, let's go to the Torah. Let's go to the second book of the Lord, Deuteronomy. All right, chapter 19 and verse 1, where it reads, When the Lord thy power, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, cut off the nations whose land the Lord thy power giveth thee, and thou succeedest them and dwellest in their cities and in their houses, thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee in the midst of thy land, which the Lord thy power giveth thee to possess it. Thou shalt prepare thee a way and divide the coast of thy land, which the Lord thy power giveth thee to inherit, into 3 parts, that every slayer may flee thither. And this is the case of the slayer which shall flee thither, that he may live. Whoso killeth his neighbor ignorantly, whom he hated not in time past. Okay? As when a man goeth into the wood with his neighbor to hew wood, and his hand fetcheth a stroke with the axe to cut down the tree, and the head slippeth from the heave, and lighteth upon his neighbor, that he die, he shall flee unto one of those cities and live. All right, this is it. This is the law that the Most High put, you know, in case if you kill your neighbor, your brother innocently, you know. When I say innocent, ignorantly, you know, you didn't mean to. All right, you had no malice in your heart towards that person. All right, lest the avenger of the blood pursue the slayer while his heart is hot, and overtake him, because the way is long, and slay him, whereas he was not worthy of death, in as much as he hated him not in time past. Wherefore I command thee, saying, Thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee. And if the Lord thy power enlarge thy coast, as he had sworn unto thy fathers, and give thee all the land which he promised to give unto thy fathers, if thou shalt keep all these commandments to do them, which I command thee this day, to love thy power, to love the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai thy power, to walk ever in his ways, then shalt thou add 3 cities more for thee beside these 3, that innocent blood be not shed. Yeah, that innocent blood be not shed in thy land, which the Lord thy power giveth thee for inheritance, and so blood be upon thee. But if any man, verse 11, This is the point here. But if any man hate his neighbor and lie in wait for him, what did these Israelis did? They lie in wait for these ambulances, for these aid workers, because it's the same thing that they used to be doing in Iraq, where Babylon used to be doing in Iraq, where they would do a drone strike. All right, they would do a drone strike. There was a movie upon it, because this is what they were actually doing. This is what the Babylonian, this is what America was literally doing. They would carry out a drone strike. All right, and when the people, and what they would do, they would wait until the people come to render aid and whatnot, so forth. Is that they would wait until there's a greater number of people. All right, and when the place get crowded with ambulances and people, whatnot, so forth, they would carry out another drone strike and wait for more people to come again and carry out another drone strike. That is what these people ate. That is what they were doing. And it's the same thing what take place there with these aid workers. Alright? They carry out the airstrike and they came, alright? And the the Israelis lie in wait and wait for them to come. And when they come and approach the scene, what they did, they execute each and every, well, excepting for one. Alright? One lived to tell the tale. You understand? So it says here, but if any man hate his neighbor and lie in wait for him and rise up against him and smite him mortally that he die and flee into one of these cities, then the elders of a city shall send and fetch him thence and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. All right? And this is what is going to take place. Who is going to be the avenger of blood? Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach. You understand? Thine eye shall not pity him, but thou shalt put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with thee. You understand? This is what it is. Yeah, man. This is what it is. That is why the Lord said, it's Numbers 34, Numbers, I think it's 33, 34. Well, let me see. Let me see. Alright, 35, 33. Numbers 35, 33. Where it reads, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. For blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. And you all had shed enough, more than enough blood upon the face of the earth, upon that land there especially. Alright? That the time now is gearing up for your blood to be shed. And I would leave with this very last scripture here. Alright? Which is James. The book of James, chapter 2, and verse 13. Where it reads, James 2 and 13, for he shall have judgment without mercy, that hath showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. Yeah? You Edomite showed no mercy. Alright? No mercy at all. No mercy. So don't expect for any mercy to be shared upon you when your judgment, which is quickly approaching, falls upon you. Kal Halayam, La Alahayanawa Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Raka Kodash, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone that rule well. Peace, blessing, salutation unto the brothers who preaching and teaching this truth throughout the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and the freedom to do so now more than ever. Shalom unto the speckled bird, Israelites, and shalom unto the very few that unfaithful Akwad. Until then, a brother Kahan from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp signing out, saying Shalom wa Abad Babal.